Hi everybody, welcome to the Tiny Studio. It's your girl Nell and this is a what? This is a Dreadlock love video. You know what time it is. It's time that we just sit down and we talk about all things dreadlocks here in the Tiny Studio. So this video is for all of you here in the Tiny Studio who love my locks and have always wanted to wear locks or wear dreads, but you're still kind of on the fence. You're tiptoeing around, actually starting the process to begin a set of locks. You really, really want to do it, but you're just not there yet. So this video is about how what I had to overcome in order to begin my dreadlock journey. Um, guess what? This month marks 20 years. 20 years of my dreadlock journey. And my, oh my, it has been a very interesting, frustrating, just a wonderful journey, period. It's been a very spiritual journey. It's opened my eyes to a lot of different things about myself and about people around me that I had in my world or in my orbit at the time. I just realized, well, came to the realization and had an epiphany of many things while wearing dreads. And it's been a really, really great experience for me. But in order for me to get to September 2022, there had to be a September 2002. So I had to overcome a few things to actually begin my lock journey. What were some of the things that I had to overcome? The one thing that I had to overcome, which is probably the main thing or the number one thing that you are attempting to overcome right now as well, is I had to overcome my own fear. I had to overcome fear. And what are those fears? Well, my own fear. And what is that? What does that look like? Well, my own fear was, what would people think about me? What would they say? Would they still like me? Would they still love me? Would they start thinking less of me because I decided to wear locks? That was my fear. Part of that fear was, would my husband still find me attractive? Would he still want to make love to me? Would he still consider me as his best friend? Would things change between us because I decided to wear locks? And the thing is, with that situation, is that my husband did not want me to wear locks. And I would have began my lock journey years before 2002. But my husband wasn't, he wasn't down with it. But by the time that September 2002 rolled around, I knew without a doubt that this was something that I had to do. So I was afraid. I didn't know what my life would look like after I decided to wear dreads. So I had fears, and they were well founded fears, very much so. Another thing that I had to overcome. I had to overcome the religiosity of it. I had to overcome the fact that I was a part of a religion that viewed conformity in a certain way. As we all know, dreadlocks is not a lifestyle of conformity. Dreadlocks goes against everything pseudo Christian or this iteration of Christianity, because we can get into dreadlocks and Christianity and all this, all those other things, and that's going to take me on a whole other tangent, and I don't really want to go there with you. But in this society that we live in, that's ran by European Caucasians or Caucasians of European descent or white Americans, white Europeans, who are Christians, dreadlocks are, let's face it, tribal and pagan. And in Christianity, and I was getting ready to go there because I was getting ready to say that within Christianity there are many pagan and tribal traditions, but I don't know if you're ready for that conversation. But dreadlocks hold that tribal, cultural, and paganism about it, and so it doesn't necessarily match the criteria for Christianity. I was in a religion where braids was frowned on. Yes, black women wearing braids was not cool in the religion that I was a part of. So, if braids were not approved of, then you definitely know dreadlocks were not, and they were frowned upon. So I had to get over fear. But I got to a point eventually where the way I saw myself in my dreams was this woman. And I had to somehow bring that consciousness, subconsciousness, I had to bring all of that together, line it up. And it was as if I really didn't have a choice. I had to do it. My husband loves it now. I mean, there have been occasions where he has actually styled my locks. He's oiled and anointed my locks before, So he came around. And he came around because he loved me. And now he knows this is me. And he's accepted that. So that was a fear that I had. Another fear that I had, which coincides with religiosity, was the public's perception of me with dreadlocks. And that will go into the areas of employment, and just being out and about in the world. Sometimes these days I catch myself, or I catch myself noticing noticing someone staring at me, and they're usually staring at my locks. And the people that primarily do the staring are people of the Caucasian persuasion. Sometimes they'll say, "Oh, your locks are so beautiful," but most times they'll just stare. And I know when I open my mouth and I start talking, or I start speaking and doing that communication thing that I love, articulating my viewpoints and things of that nature, I know that they're trying to reconcile the locks and their perception of my dreadlocks with what is actually coming out of my mouth. That's not my problem that they may have a warped conception or misconception of what people of African descent look like and how we express ourselves, but it can be uncomfortable. So I had to get past that. Especially when it comes to employment. I am an entrepreneur, and so I have my own business. And I will sometimes forget that I have dreads when I present myself in a business meeting to, someone that I am doing business with or would like to do business with. And because I'm not necessarily in tune with the fact that my dreads are sometimes the star of the show, or that my dreads walk in the room before me, I notice how people look. And I sometimes pick up on, you know, their eyes and their thoughts. And sometimes I haven't been, well, I don't know, but I haven't been turned down that I know of for um, a business deal or venture based on my locks. But what do I know? Maybe I have. Who knows? Who really knows, right? But I have been able to make a living being who I am these past 20 years, and with locks, with dreads. But I do know, and I have felt people's, or person's discomfort from my dress. And when I step into a business meeting, I'm usually wearing my hair in a nice bun or chiffon, or I'm wearing it in a ponytail. So I'm always, in my mind, my locks are complementary to the business attire that I am wearing. But there's no way I can hide that I have dreads. There's no way I can hide that. And this is just who I am. But in the beginning, that was something that I did worry about, and that I did I was concerned about. Um, Another area where I had to get over myself, or I had to overcome, was the fact that I would no longer be using relaxers. I had been relaxing my hair for a lot of years before I actually went natural first and then decided to lock my hair. And when you are a relaxed Nista, you follow a routine. And that routine is, you get your hair relaxed and you maintain it. You get it, you go to the salon, you get it styled, you get it washed, curled, all of those things. And, every 6 to 8 weeks you go to get, to get a touch up, and you keep it moving. And it's a pattern. It becomes a routine. It's a way of life. And so I maintained that way of life for a very, very long time, for years. And so when I began my natural journey, and in preparation to begin locking my hair, that was a routine that I had to get used to, a routine that I had to break. And yes, it was very difficult to stop relaxing my hair, even though occasionally I would have, I would take breaks from relaxing it. But basically, it was a lot to break that, to stop that habit, to discontinue that routine. But even though at the time I was wearing a small fro or a Caesar cut, I still treated myself to visits to my favorite barbershop to get, to get a nice cut and edge. And that helped me, or prepared me, for my natural journey. But it took me some time to get over the fact that I wasn't going to relax my hair. And it still took me even more time after I uh, started locking my hair, that it took me time to break the routine, because I was still using shampoos and conditioners and some of the same things that I was using on my hair when I relaxed it. I was using it on my locks. So, excuse me, if you have watched any of my videos where I talk about shampooing your locks or lock care, lock maintenance, you will know that, shampooing your hair with the same stuff that you use to shampoo your hair when you were using a press, a hot comb, or you were relaxing your hair and all that other stuff, the same things that you used for to take care of your hair when you were a relaxed Nista, you're going to have to get rid of them. You don't need those things or items or products when you are a dreadlock diva, dreadlock gentleman, locknista queen, locknista king. You don't need all of those things. So you have to wean yourself off of those things and really immerse yourself into this. And so that took time for me to really, really fully immerse myself in the culture of wearing dreadlocks. So I had a lot of things that I had to overcome. But can they be overcome? Can they be overcame? Yes. Yes, they can. But it all starts with you. It all starts with how you view the world, how you see things, and how you want what you desire to line up with who you present as every day in reality. That's what's important. And if you really have that urge, like I did, to have my dreams line up with my reality, then those things that I needed to overcome, those things became, they weren't a mountain anymore. I was able to move that mountain out the way and walk the path that I was meant to walk. And you can do it too. You can most definitely do it too. If I did it, you can do it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me in the tiny studio today. I hope I was able to give you some type of support, some type of encouragement. I hope that my story, by listening to my story, that I was able to help you out. If you are still a little bit on the fence, you're not necessarily there yet when it comes to beginning your journey, and maybe you have some fears, you have some doubts, you have questions, and perhaps this video, I was in this video, I was able to help you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop down in the comment section and leave me a question. And who knows, I may see that question and address it here in the tiny studio just for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Listen, don't forget to like and subscribe, but most importantly, if you know this video can be a benefit to someone else, don't forget to share. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here in the tiny studio. I will see you later. Bye-bye.